Džabari, thank you for speaking to Sport Klub. Well, first of all, let's start with this tomorrow's game. What do you expect, considering Partizan being in bad run of results, 4 losses in a row right now?
It doesn't mean as much because tomorrow's a brand new day. This is a team more than capable of being number one. They have the talent and the capabilities, especially the coach and the coacher. So we are focused.
Tell me, what do you played once here, right, last season? Mm-hmm. What do you remember of that game, and what do you know about Partizan in general and about Coach Obradović?
Very great environment, very intense with the team and how they play. So that's just my little knowledge. Obviously, it'll be different because of the circumstances. Kevin B playing his first game, returning back to his former team. So the environment may be a little bit more hostile than previous years.
Did you spoke to KP about this game? Is he nervous or something like that, or just being professional?
I don't think he has anything to be nervous about because he left on good terms. This is not an organization that they have their differences and left in bitterness. So that favors the situation. But that's not to say that the fans will feel differently. So we'll see.
Džabari, you're one of the players who went straight from the NBA to EuroLeague. Actually, you had one year of break, right? That season 22-23, you didn't have a team, but then again, you came here first time in Europe, and your season was, let's say, exceptional because you really were there for the team. How did you do that? And we saw different kinds of players that are not making it in EuroLeague, and they cannot find themselves such a good role.
Well, I can't speak on others because my situation is totally different. I was blessed and fortunate enough to have a coach that believed in me, Roger. I had teammates who pushed me and were patient. So that contributed also. I couldn't ask for a better situation. That's the reason why I wanted to be back this season.
We all saw that on the last game of last season that you were very emotional about everything. Why was that? Because actually you returned to basketball, right?
Yeah. It was like a dream come true. It was what I'm used to and accustomed to. All my life I've played for great teams. I've played for historical franchises. And to be a part of something bigger than myself again and contributing was something that I just missed.
So what did you find exactly in Barcelona? Let's say other than good teammates, than a coach. I've been there. It's a beautiful city as well.
Yeah.
So what were the other factors that made you come back?
The other factors, establishing myself in a city where people are familiar with me, establishing relationships that I have with the fans. That's something that motivates me because now it just doesn't mean anything just for myself. It means a lot more when we have fans that have been with the team for 40, 50 years. And I want to make them proud too.
Tell me, since you're the guy who decided to come to Europe after so many years in the NBA in America, what would be and I see that there is no regrets on your side doing that, right? I mean, you made the right choice. But then again, what would be, let's say, a piece of advice for some guy from the USA who never went to Europe, never played in Europe? Should he come here or should he continue battling for NBA contract through, I don't know, G League or anything like that?
From my experience, you're only gaining once you come here to Europe, just because the level of play. You see a team like ourselves, we have 7 previous pros. A lot of teams don't even have 7 veterans on their team. They have majority G League players, maybe rookies. So these teams have guys who've been professional 10 years, 10 plus years. So just imagine the experience and just imagine that being the median throughout. You have 15 teams who are not only the best in the area, but probably the best in their league when they play domestic. So I think it's just only going to be good if a guy who wants to play at a high intense level, who wants to compete, because that's what I experienced, and it's been great. And everybody who's made that transition so far, like myself and one of my former teammates, Kendrick Nunn, they're only seeing how great and how exciting it is.
We cannot lie, it is a difference between NBA and EuroLeague. What are some, I don't know, pros and cons for coming here, or what are pros and cons of EuroLeague?
I say the margin of error in EuroLeague is a lot smaller, because if you're winning by 5 with a minute to go, it's not as similar as being up by 5 in the NBA because of the total possessions, maybe because of the tempo. I think there's less turnovers. People play a little bit more smart and a little bit with more urgency. So that's kind of the difference in tempo.
I've seen, just coming here, I saw this statement from Evan Fournier that this comparison between NBA and EuroLeague should stop, that it's not good for anybody, and that, people speaking like EuroLeague, you have to be, I don't know, smarter or something like that. Do you think so as well? Because two different types of basketball, but then again, is it so different?
Well, I don't know, right? Like, I'm not Evan. I don't speak on his experiences. I can only speak on my own experiences. But when you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it. And that's just the difference between the two. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. They have both their pros, both have their cons. But as far as the world goes, it's good, right? Basketball is reaching areas that it hasn't before with exceptional talent. So people don't need to stay up at 4 a.m. in the morning just to catch good quality basketball. It's right there in your city or your region.
What do you think about, for example, Panathinaikos coach told that Boston Celtics should call themselves world champions only if they beat Panathinaikos. So what do you think, if those two would match, what would be the outcome of that game? I mean, probably Celtics would win, but then again, what would it take for Pau to beat them?
Well, I don't know, right? Like, that's the question of it. The first to answer your question is, the world champion means that they have to compete against the world, not just in the nation. So the title itself is a little off.
So you're with that sprinter Noah Lyles. He said the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. If you're going to be a world champion, you have to compete against other teams of the world. That's just the same as the Olympics. The Olympics, they don't just stay within China or the Western Hemisphere. They compete against other countries and nations. So the second question, if they were to play, it'll be interesting. We'll see. But they're not too far off. And I played against, trust me, I played against teams in the NBA. I played against teams in EuroLeague, and Panathinaikos arguably competes with some of those teams in the NBA as far as running their plays, being together, playing defense. It'd be nice to see if that's going to be the case one day.
Džabari, one more question. You're a player who had, unfortunately, a lot of experience with injuries. When that moment comes, what goes through your mind, and how do you come to be better, be stronger of that injury? What's your recipe, for example?
Well, I get back up, right? Like, I can hurt myself tomorrow, and it's the same thing. That's just the same thing that goes on in my life. It's not a matter of what I have, but a matter of what I do with what I have. So that's all that I'm concerned with. As long as I'm having able legs and a healthy body and my ability to play basketball, I think that's what my purpose is here in this life of mine, because it's been given to me. So I'll cherish it and value it, and I'll play until I can't play anymore. So that's just my enjoyment.
How long would you like to play for Barcelona, since we know that you returned now for your second season? How long are you prepared to stay here in Europe?
Yeah, as much as I can. As much as I can with time, situation. Right now I'm here for 2 years, and that's what I'm focused on, making the best out of these years. More importantly, making the best out of this season. And I'm here for a reason. I re-signed because I want to be here in Barcelona.
What do you reckon? What is Barcelona's goal this season? We know that you guys are made to do the Final Four to compete for the ACB title. What's the goal, and what would be, for example, you went without a trophy last year, but what would be your personal goal for this season?
Me personally is to play my best each and every game. That's how I prepare. I don't just look at the end result. I don't look at the finish line. I look at the steps ahead, right in front of me. So that's the most important thing. I think that's the same thing as our team, that we need to compete every day, get better every game, and the byproduct is winning the championship.
Yeah. I've heard this saying that the most important game of players' life is the next one, right?
Yeah.
So that's the mentality.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Džabari, very much for this interview, and good luck tomorrow and the rest of the season.
Okay, thank you.